So it's the review for Power Standard 7 for college algebra. So we're going to start off with some sequences. Now it asks us to find the recursive and explicit definitions. But before we do that, we got to figure out what kind of sequence this is. Is it arithmetic or geometric? And then what is the common difference or ratio? In this case, it looks like you're adding 5 each time. So we're going to write our recursive definition. It is going to be u sub n is equal to u sub n minus 1 plus 5, where n is greater than or equal to 2, and u sub 1 is equal to negative 3. All right, so we have the formula part and then the statement part. Our explicit definition is the explicit formula u sub n is equal to u sub 1, which is going to be negative 3, plus the common difference, which is 5, and then we don't know what term we're looking for, so we put n minus 1. All right, next, in this case, we have a sequence. This looks like it's going to be a geometric, and we're going to be multiplying by 2 each time. All right, so our recursive definition is going to be u sub n is equal to 2 times u sub n minus 1. That's really ugly u, sorry. I've got to change that. U sub n minus 1, where n is greater than or equal to 2, and u sub 1 is equal to 5 over 2. Explicit definition, we have u sub n is equal to u sub 1, which is 5 over 2, times 2 to the n minus 1 power. And those are the recursive and explicit definitions for arithmetic and geometrics. All right. For this, we have some simple stuff for the graphing rational functions. We're going to tone this down for the master exams. To find the vertical asymptote, we're going to take the equation. We got to factor it out. So we're going to have x plus 1 and x minus 1. On the bottom, we're going to have x plus 1 and x plus 2. All right. So that means the x plus 1s can cancel, and we just have x minus 1 on the top and x minus or plus 2 on the bottom. All right, so what does this mean for our problem? All right, I'm going to rewrite the x minus 1 and x plus 2 here. So for the vertical asymptote, we take our denominator, set it equal to 0, and solve, which gives us x equals negative 2. That's our vertical asymptote. For the horizontal asymptote, we take the leading coefficients, which in this case is x over x, which gives us 1. So our horizontal asymptote is going to be y equals 1. That's it. That's all we're asking for this. Number 4. All right. This is going to be a hyperbola. The reason I know that is because there's a minus sign there. Okay, so I'm going to do some pieces to help me figure this out. So the first one I'm going to figure out is where's the center of my hyperbola. It's going to be h comma k, which is going to be negative 3 comma 0. Next, our a value in a hyperbola is always first, which is going to be 2. Our b value is going to be 6. I'm going to find the c value because I am graphing, so I'm going to have the formula c squared equals to a squared plus b squared. So a squared is 4, b squared is 36. So I'm going to have the square root of 40. I'm going to figure what that is. So the square root of 40 gives me, 6.3. Okay, so now I have all the information I need to graph this. Let's go ahead and start doing that. So my center is going to be at negative 3 comma 0, which is right here. My a value is underneath the y term, and because that one's the part that is getting that is in front and in positive, that's the direction my graph's going to go. So it's going to go up and down. So I'm going to have up 2 and down 2, and I'm going to go left and right by 6. From here, I'm going to make my little box. I'm going to make my diagonal lines through the corners of the box. Actually, I don't like that. There we go. going to draw my parabola type shapes on the top because I'm going along the y-axis. All right, and then I have to draw in the focal points. So I'm going 6.3 up and down from the center. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and a little bit. 5, 6 and a little bit. So there is my graph for the first hyperbola. For the second one, my center is going to be at 3, -1 based on h, k. The a value is first for a hyperbola. It doesn't make a difference if it's big or not. I know it's a hyperbola again because this minus sign, this minus sign between the two fractions. So my a is going to be 3, and it's going to go left and right along the x-axis because that number is underneath the x term. B is going to be 25, or sorry, it's going to be 5, not 25. Let's find the c value for the focal distance. So c squared is going to equal 9 plus 25. So c will equal the square root of, what is it going to be? 25 plus 9, and that's 34. So the square root of 34 is 5.8. So let's go ahead and make our graph. So 3, -1 is our center point. Going up 3. No, I'm sorry, I'm going left and right 3. Left and right by 3. Going up and down by 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 and 5. I draw my diagonal lines through the corners of the boxes to give my graph some boundaries. I draw my parabola type shapes going along the x-axis. I'm going to go out 5.8 from the center. 3, 4, 5, almost to 6. 4, 5, almost to 6 right there. And that is my graph for my hyperbola. All right. Next, this is going to be an ellipse, and I know it's going to be an ellipse because there's a plus sign between the two. So it's very similar to the last hyperbola. A lot of times people get them confused. So a c value is going to be h, k. I've got -2, 5. My a value in this case, on an ellipse, the a value is always bigger, so that means it's 25, which means a value is 5. B is going to be 3. All right. Because the 25 is under the x term, my graph is going to be horizontally orientated. My c value equation is going to be c is equal to a squared minus b squared in this case, unlike the hyperbola, which was plus. So I'm going to have 25 minus 9, which is 16. So c is going to equal to 4. I can now make my equation. I've got -2, 5, which is right there. All right, I'm going to go to the left by 5, and to the right by 5, up by 3, and down by 3, and make my ellipse. Do the best you can when you're drawing this out. Then my focal points are going to go along my major axis length, which is horizontal in this case. So I'm going to have 4 and 4 for my focal points from the center. All right, next I have another ellipse. I know this again because there's a plus sign there. So my center is going to be at -3, -4. The a value is again bigger, so that means it's going to be 7. The b value is going to be 6. The c value is going to be 49 plus 36. So 49 plus 36 is equal to 85. And the square root of 85 is 9.2. Oh, sorry, I made that mistake. That was my bad. Somebody correct me on this. That should be minus 49 minus 36 is 13, and the square root of 13 is 3.6. There we go. That sounds right. Okay, so big key here, I knew that if my A value, the largest A value is going to be 49, which is 7 for A, that means my focal points can't be bigger than 7. So when I hit 9, I knew there was a problem. That's why I could go back and look. All right. So now with that out of the way, we can go back to our problem here. We've got -3, -4, which means our point's going to be right there for the center. Again, this graph's going to be horizontally orientated because the 49 is underneath the x term. So I'm going to go 7 to the left and 7 to the right. I'm going to go up and down by 6. So my ellipse will look something like this. And I'm going to go 3.6 from the center for my focal points. Here's my graph for number 7. Number 8, this is going to be a parabola. All right. So my vertex is going to be h comma k, which is going to be -5, 6. All right. So -5, 6 is going to be right here. Because the x is in front and being squared, that means my graph's going to go up and down. And because the 12 is positive, it's going to be going up. All right. And my p-value is going to be 12 divided by 4, which is 3. So because the graph's going up, I'm going to go up by 3 for my focal point, down by 3 for my directrix, and I'm going to go multiply 3 times 2, which means my point's going to be out here and out here for my other 2 points to make up my parabola. Okay. All right, next one, because the y is in front and being squared, that means the graph's going to go either left or right. And because that 8 is negative, it's going to go to the left. My vertex is going to be -3, +4. All right, and my focal length is going to be -8 divided by -4, which is 2. So -3, 4 is right there. My graph's going to go to the left. So that means my focal point is going to be right there. My directrix is going to be 2 behind it. And I'm going to multiply my focal distance by 2 to find my other 2 points in my graph. There we go. All right, next we got some circles. All right, so the center of our circle is going to be h, k, just like it has been for the ellipses and the hyperbolas, and the vertexes for the parabolas. So we have 3, -1. My radius is going to be 5. So 3, -1 puts me there. Going up by 5, left by 5, down by 5, and right by 5. Do the best you can to make a really nice circle. There we go. Next, same idea. Center is going to be at -7, 2. The radius is going to be 3. So -7, 2. 3 up, 3 down, 3 to the right, and 3 to the left. There we go. All right, now we're going to be writing some equations of these graphs. All right, so the graph is going left, so that means y is going to be in front and being squared. And since it's left, it's going to be negative. All right, my vertex is going to be right here. That's not the focal point, which is -4, 2. So -4 is going to be +4 as the h, and +2 is going to be -2 as the k. That's going to be squared. My focal distance, for the distance between the vertex and the focal point, is 1. So it's going to be 1 times 4, which is 4. And there's my equation. Again, you don't have to do the whole thing at once. You can do it in pieces, just like I did. All right, moving on. All right, my vertex is going to be right there, which is at 2, -4. Since it's going up, x is going to be in front and squared. And since it's going up, it's going to be positive. So y is over there. All right, the vertex is at, again, 2, -4. So 2 is going to be -2. And -4 is going to be +4. The focal distance is, again, 1, so it's just going to be +4. And there's the equation for that parabola. For your ellipse, you've got to find out where the center of the ellipse is. Looks like it's going to be right here. So that's going to be at -6, -2. I'm going to write that down so I don't have to keep remembering it. -6, -2. Okay, so we have x plus 6, quantity squared, plus x plus 2, or sorry, y plus 2 squared equals 1. Don't forget the equals 1 part. All right. The a value, since the graph is orientated vertically, the a value is going to be underneath the y term. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to the edge of the graph. That means this is 49. And the b value is going to be underneath the x term, and it's 2, which is going to be 4 for the b value. That is your equation for the ellipse. And this ellipse looks like our middle point is going to be right here, which is going to be at 5, -2. So x minus 5, quantity squared, plus y plus 2, quantity squared equals 1. Now the graph is orientated horizontally, which means the a value is going to be underneath the x term. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 again, so that means it's 49. And then 2 up and down for the b, which gives you 4. Yes, it's almost the same ellipse, just in different spots. Okay, number 16. We have a hyperbola. Our center is going to be here at 5, 0. All right. Because the graph is going up and down, that means the x value is first. So I'm going to have x minus 5. It's going to be minus because it's a hyperbola. Y squared, because there is no k value, equals 1. All right, the a value is going to go in front. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, that's a bad kind of square here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like it's supposed to be 6. All right, so that's going to be 36. All right, the y going sideways is going to be 3, which is 9. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on a second. I made a mistake again. People, catch me on these. Since it's going up and down along the y-axis, the y is going to be first. My mistake. I apologize. Sorry if you already wrote it down. I'm going to erase. Let's try this again. This is going to be 9, though. So this is going to be y squared and x minus 5 squared. That's ugly. There we go. Sorry about that. My apologies. All right, next one looks like it's going to be at 0, 5 as our center. All right, since again it's going up and down, it's going to be underneath the y, so the y is going first. So it's going to be y minus 5 quantity squared minus x squared equals 1. All right, the a value looks like it's going to be 1, 2, 3, so that means it's going to be 9. And the b value is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 36. And that is your hyperbola. All right. Next we have the circles. This is the last two. So the center of our circle is going to be -3, 5. So we have x plus 3 squared plus y minus 5 squared equals the radius is 3, which means that our problem's going to have 9. And then last but not least, we have a center point of 7, -2. So we're going to have x minus 7 squared plus y plus 2 squared. And that's going to equal the distance for the radius. Looks like it's 7, so that's 49. And that is it. Good luck if you're trying to do number 7. And